The office of president requires somebody who is on the field every day, like we see with President Trump, we see with Traore. We want people who are part of the community. In fact, essentially, I don't know why he wants to be president, because he's not being president.
How present is President Paul Biya? This is a pressing question for Cameroonians concerned about his advanced age and declining health.
His supporters say he is absent but firmly represented. Yet at 92, shouldn't he just step aside?
My response will be no. He's very strong. You want him to be where? To die?
So despite his rare public appearances, Biya remains a leading candidate for the upcoming presidential election in Cameroon. But how is he going to connect with voters without being visible?
He campaigns online, powered by Cameroon's political elite. So the question is, why do they want Biya in power?
We need his experience. We need all those richness that he has accumulated. We need him as our teacher to teach us to be the leader of this country.
And in this election, Cameroonians will be facing a very critical choice: change or continuity.
And that's the heart of today's conversation. Will change triumph over continuity?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mimi Mefoneu. Welcome to Under the Baobab.
And my name is Jojo Kachi. On this show, we make Africa's complex stories personal.
And we do so every Friday of the week, George. We sit down here with policymakers, politicians, and leaders across Africa to discuss some of the pertinent issues affecting African communities. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We can see all the love, the comments, the engagement. Please subscribe so that we can all be part of this conversation.
Much appreciated, and we welcome you to the huge community. And today, we are joined by Jean de Dieu Momo, a staunch Biya loyalist, minister delegate at the Ministry of Defense, and member of the G20. And Mimi is telling me not the global G20,
Not the global
but a
one.
pro-Biya campaign team that is fronting for his re-election.
In other words, the Cameroon G20. And the country is facing a very historic choice in the upcoming presidential election, because we have 9 candidates contending to, and they are aiming to unseat President Paul Biya, who has been president for over 4 decades. Yet, he remains a top contender in the race, largely because the opposition in Cameroon now is deeply divided, George.
Yeah, just to mention, last week we brought in another opposition top contender, that is Issa Chiroma. And of course, you can watch that episode on our YouTube channel. And because of fairness and balance in this election coverage, we decided we want to speak to Paul Biya himself. But of course, we can't.
I wish we could.
And of course, we couldn't give up in trying to look for him. And definitely there are people who are pushing him in the name of political elite within the Cameroon political sphere. And that's why we have the minister delegate to speak to us and tell us why they are fronting for Biya to be re-elected.
And George, it raises the question of Biya's absence and his seeming disconnect from the people that he is leading, because the people are expecting that this is the campaign period where the different politicians who want to replace him at the presidency are crisscrossing different regions of the country to woo them, to speak to them, to talk to. I mean, this is at least the first time that Cameroonians should have that privilege.
He's used to winning, so he doesn't need to traverse the country.
That's maybe the point. So when he succeeded the late and first president of Cameroon, it was not even through an election, President Amadou Ahidjo, he promised a presidency that will be accessible and transparent. But today we are completely seeing a different story, because many people are asking, where is President Paul Biya? It's a question on the lips of many people, even though he appeared this week.
Yes. I mean, it's a burning question and a burning concern in Cameroon, and I appreciate that Cameroonians are concerned. Where is their leader? They want their leader to see him, and also to for him to appear as if he's working for Cameroonians. And I mean, we know that he visited his favorite destination in Switzerland, that is Geneva. And a 2018 investigative report, Mimi, which I find so interesting, revealed that Paul Biya spent approximately 4.5 years of his presidency abroad, and mostly in Switzerland. And at this is, the taxpayers' money was, spent during these visits.
And is traveling to Switzerland It's understandable because we see many leaders in Africa doing that, but doing so at the expense of taxpayers' money, that's where the problem is, because people are asking, where is he taking all of this money from? These are funds that could be used to develop the country, to fix the bad roads, to provide employment to young Cameroonians who are seeking jobs on a daily basis. People will graduate from state universities and there will be taxi drivers and bike riders on the streets. If he could use this money that he's been traveling to Switzerland, you've just named an estimated 65 million US dollars spent during this time.
Yes.
And fix some of the things, the broken healthcare system, the broken roads, some of the things that are not going well in Cameroon. I think it would have been a good thing for Cameroonians.
Do you think his rare public appearance is to avoid accountability?
I'm not sure whether it's to avoid accountability. He doesn't just care as a leader. I don't think he cares at all.
Yeah, but I mean, he announces candidacy through social media.
Do you think Biya is scared of anyone? He's been doing that for many years, and he has people that judge. You don't want us to go through, because many Cameroonians are looking for your social media handles. They are looking for you.
Because I am pro, the style of leadership, which is leadership through delegated authority. If it works, it's really good. Therefore,
But for
you
Cameroon,
don't have a
it's not
figurehead who is
working.
shining,
Yes.
but rather institutions that
If it
are
was
shining.
working, Cameroonians would not complain. It's not working.
But isn't it enough for him just to announce his candidacy on social media?
It's not enough. Why should he not do things differently? Why not do things differently and speak to Cameroonians?
But when you
not just
spoke to...
announcing candidacy, but also at least just being present. When there's an accident, the president needs to talk. When soldiers are killed, soldiers that you have sent to the Anglophone regions of Cameroon, to the far north, to protect what you call the territorial integrity of the country when they are killed. No statement from the president. He doesn't issue statements.
But a statement
he
from the
doesn't
government
condone
obviously comes out, right?
From the government, but not from... When you hear from your president, George, he's the chief of the armed forces.
Yeah.
Soldiers are killed and he doesn't respond.
Okay, so when you spoke to Minister Momo, what is his view? What is his story about Biya's rare public appearance?
So I actually asked him if the president's choice to engage the electorate primarily through social media is not an insult. This is what he told us.
The fact is, he is candidate. If he cannot see through social media or through anything, it's not important for us.
But President Paul Biya needs to get voted by the people. He needs the vote of the people. And many Cameroonians feel like they don't have the connection with their leader. Why don't you think it's important?
What you have to know, madam, is that the social media are the new ways of connecting people. The social media is like better than TV. You cannot carry your TV around, but you have your smartphone in your pocket and you can watch everything. That's why the president communicates through social media, where he can reach people.
Do you think President Paul Biya is an absent leader? Because anyone else could be running his social media platform.
No. The President Paul Biya is really president. Africa always has a way to address to his people. Paul Biya can be like a chief traditional ruler in our democracy, in the traditional democracy of Africa. The chief doesn't go to see the population. He sent the messenger to address to its people. Look, don't try to put us like European, Occidental people. Your mistake is that you are staying there abroad and you want the African to behave like you people abroad, where your democracy needs the leader to go on TV, talk to the people.
You are not talking to a stranger. You are talking to someone who comes from Cameroon and speaking to Cameroonians. We speak to Cameroonians who are on the street and they tell us that they do not have the connection with their leader. So when was the last time you met President Paul Biya as a minister?
In Cameroon, we have an administration. An administration has its hierarchy. We belong to the government of Prime Minister John Gute, who is our head. And himself has another head who is the president of the republic. So, if I have something to say to the president, do you really think that me, minister delegate, I will go myself to knock the door of the president of the republic?
So Minister Momo is simply saying there is a way they run their affairs in Cameroon, and we should not impose what we think is effective running of the country to them, right? Or rather on them.
The way the government runs the country, so it doesn't mean it's the norm. But there are two things here, George.
Yes.
The policies of President Paul Biya, whether he's been able to achieve the promises that he makes over the years. He addresses Cameroonians twice every year, on the 11th of February, which is the National Youth Day celebration, and the 31st of December, which is prior to New Year. Those are the two times that Cameroonians see him on TV, and it's always a recorded interview, a recorded speech from the president. So that is number one.
Yes.
What are his policies? How has he been able to achieve these policies? There are a lot of question marks because we see a lot of loopholes in the economic, social, and political sectors in Cameroon. Yeah. Number two, about his health. We have prominent opposition leaders and civil society organizations that have issued statements telling the president to present his capability, his health record.
Yes, and I'm sure this resonates with many Cameroonians, Mimi. And of course, the issue, the criticism about his dwindling health and also his age is something that is widely spoken about, internationally, and it's a concern to many Cameroonians as well.
Right.
And of course, we look at a 92-year-old, and of course, looking at the stamina and the capacity to lead, it raises questions to Cameroonians. But I mean, the supporters would say that it's not just about the age. In fact, the age can be used as an advantage, maybe.
But there's also the need for Cameroonians to have that transparency. Cameroonians need to know exactly what is happening. Many want a clear, honest update about the state of affairs. You don't you don't rule the country like the people don't deserve to know the truth about their leader. Just be honest. Just tell Cameroonians this is the situation. But Cameroonians have never been given that luxury of what the truth is. The question is, at 92, that's the question many Cameroonians are asking. Is Biya still capable of running the country? If he's capable, show Cameroonians the medical record. Show Cameroonians that he can.
But why would that be important, Mimi?
It's important.
For someone to show you the record?
Didn't we ask the representative of the spokesperson of Tinubu's government, and he said that he is more than capable of running?
And that is the messaging that has come from the government, that Biya is more than capable of running. And of course, I saw the former opposition head, appearing in court to demand that the president should not run in this upcoming election on basis that he is not his health is questionable. But that was overruled by the court, that he's healthy and is capable of continue to seek for another mandate.
I had that conversation also with Minister Jean de Dieu Momo, just to find out whether at 92 is it time already for President Paul Biya to retire and step aside for someone else to come in. This is what he told us.
My response will be no. He's very strong.
At 92?
You want him to be where? To die? 92 is okay.
To retire, maybe. To retire, because my grandfather...
Ask those people to retire.
If my father gets to 90 or even 80, I'll tell him, if you're in a position of leadership, you need to retire and rest.
Thank God he's not your father. He's ours. And we don't ask him to go to retire. We need him in Cameroon. We, the leaders, we need his experience. We need all those richness that he have accumulated. We need him as our teacher to teach us to be the leader of this country. We need him to have a good testament for this country. We need him to be our library. We need him diplomatically.
What have you learned from President Paul Biya as an individual?
He's very passionate. I'm learning to be passionate like him. He's very passionate. He doesn't get angry. Look, I was in the opposition party, radical war, insulted him. But when come the time to put me as a minister, he didn't take it into consideration that I was against him. How many people will you find that?
But Mr. Minister, were you really in the opposition, or you were just saying that because you wanted to get noticed and be appointed?
No. You know that it is not true.
Okay.
It was accidentally that I become to the government.
There is no other person who can run things for Cameroon other than Biya. Is that what you're saying?
No. I say there are many people that can run in this country. Even me, I have a good team. I can do it, right? Many people can run it, but he's the one that we want. He's the one who don't have nothing to lose. You even say he's all no, so he don't have any to lose. He has everything to won, to enter the history like he succeed. Why do you want him to remove now when he's just going to finish the emergence that he promised to Cameroon? He have put everything to reach that emergence.
Yeah, so emergence, and the minister says that they want President Paul Biya to stay in power until Cameroon comes close to this emergence that he's talking about. He's realizing the vision 2035, a very ambitious goal to become a middle-income economy.
And interesting, he will be almost 100 years by the time that vision comes to fruition, if at all that is ever going to happen. But he was saying something about he was appointed. He was shocked that he was appointed. But this is someone who released a song criticizing Biya, criticizing some of the setbacks of Biya's government. And recently, he has released another song praising Biya. So I want to ask you, George,
Yes.
when you have food in your mouth, can you speak?
Sometimes you could speak.
Can you speak when food is in
The
your
question
mouth?
is, can you speak in public? Maybe if you are in a private place, you
So
could
do you
speak.
expect the minister, because the food is all over his mouth and he's having fun. And we are now going to take the conversation to Cameroonians as well on the streets of Douala and Yaoundé.
40 years is a period that the nation is virtually asleep. Like he spends 1 month, 2 months out, he doesn't bother because he's like, being president is just a formality. He's not getting things done. And the office of president requires somebody who is on the field every day, like we see with President Trump, we see with Traore. We want people who are part of the community, not people who are really just cut off from the community. In fact, essentially, I don't know why he wants to be president, because he's not being president. He's just delegating tasks. We hear hot instructions, high instructions every day. A president should not be functioning through high instructions.
The duration is too much. Over 40 years, the same person. We are tired of that name. At least let the young generation to participate.
Cameroon was at the top 10 of Africa. But today, for the 43 years that he has been in power, he has not shown anything. We have gone back into the 70s. There are no roads. The planes are left everything. He has scattered everything. So for me, seeing him being engaged to power, I'm not sure that I will support him being in power.
Over and above the socio-economic issues that are pressing Cameroonians and making them not feel confident about President Paul Biya, another election issue was the president's daughter, that is Brenda Biya, who came out on TikTok urging Cameroonians not to vote for the father, and she blamed the father for widespread suffering in Cameroon.
In fact, we were so shocked, George. And a few hours or few minutes after that post was taken down, there were rumors that it wasn't true, but it was actually authenticated. But many people are saying in Cameroon that her message resonates with many Cameroonians, many Cameroonian youths. And just to note as well that over a third of registered voters in Cameroon, more than 2.6 million of as of 2024 are young people. So the message of Brenda Biya resonated with so many of them.
Yes.
And the question is, who can be more pro-Biya or anti-Biya than Brenda Biya? If Brenda Biya says my father is not capable, then
it is a representative of what the youth are saying in Cameroon.
Right.
So what does Minister Moment think about this?
He says that he dismissed what Brenda Biya said and said I cannot be taken seriously.
Why is the importance of her single small voice? What is the importance? Is she a politician?
She's the daughter. This is the daughter of the president, and
I have children.
It echoes the feeling, the thoughts of young Cameroonians as well. Because we saw the reactions.
I have children, and I can tell you that my children, sometimes they don't follow my view. I have even a boy that no one knows that I have a big boy who is against me. You have to notice this. Sometimes it's because he has not seen you. The President Paul Biya sacrificed his life, and the children need maybe his presence.
And that is true. Young Cameroonians are also very angry, and they would, if they were in that same position, that is how they would all react. So would you just say they're acting out of impulse, or they really want change?
Change is inside our mind, inside everyone. The change is needed by all the population and every day. And when the change comes, you go to the next step to ask for another change. And then when another step comes, you will go to the third level. So it is a permanent conquest. And even the President Paul Biya is the one who wants the change for his country. Since he's there, he brings the change step by step.
Do you want to say Cameroonians are happy?
Of course, you can see that many Cameroonians has become rich. Many Cameroonians has become billionaires.
How many Cameroonians are billionaires?
It is 1 billionaire by kilometers square.
What does that mean?
1 billionaire in 1 kilometer square. Go to Douala, you will see them. When you travel with them in the aeroplane. They are billionaires. Many Cameroonians are billionaires thanks to Paul Biya, thanks to his policy.
Tell us how President Paul Biya made them billionaires, because you are insisting on that particular issue.
Yes, by creating the way that they can be free to do business abroad.
Okay.
Before, we were not able to do business with Chinese.
Why are you laughing? Are you also billionaire?
I am not.
Okay.
That's why it's so funny.
Yeah, so the minister is saying that Cameroon has billionaires everywhere.
Are
and
you a
suggesting that-
billionaire?
Yeah,
If
so-
you're watching as a Cameroonian, tell us in the comment section.
But what he's simply suggesting is that the gap between the wealthy and the poor isn't that extreme, and that could be largely true, Mimi. There is research that shows that Cameroon is not badly off when it comes to the gap between the rich and the poor.
So although Transparency International notes slight improvements, elites still exploit state resources and accountability remains weak in Cameroon now.
I'm glad you've touched on corruption, which is one of the sticking issue that is haunting this administration. What did Momo tell you about this?
Let's just hear what his defense was, because he also dismissed it.
The corruption, is it the fact of President Paul Biya? The corruption is the fact of people around the world. Who is the victim of the corruption? It's the state. It's the Paul Biya who is the victim. People want to take the advantage of what he has put together. He has put everything in place to bring the Cameroon at the emergence. And people know that he has created the tsunami that Cameroonian can exploit his mines themselves, exploiting the petrol themselves, not to ask the foreigner to do it and take all our money. He created all the conditions. For the first time, a Cameroonian is exploiting our iron. He has protected our mineral resources. He never allowed any foreigner to exploit them. Those people of opposition, they are not in the continuity. They are in the, what we call la rupture. They are in the rupture. They want to change everything. They don't want to continue. And this is dangerous. When you give this country to somebody who will make a rupture, he will destroy all. They call it alternance. They will destroy all and they will build the new way.
Just to tell our viewers that Minister Jean de Dieu Momo is French speaking, so French is his first language. So he really tried to be able to express himself as well in English. But when he's talking about continuation, he's scared. He says that the government of President Paul Biya is worried that if another person comes in, there's not going to be a continuation, which is what they are worried about.
Which could be a concern. I wouldn't vouch for a presidency that would come to water down everything that has been achieved.
Yeah, because they have their political plans as well. They have their manifestos. They have their plans for Cameroon.
But believably, if the government of perpetuation is embraced in Cameroon, then the best things that the administration was doing can be continued.
But
and that is to the benefit of the country.
If President Paul Biya's policies were working, why are a lot of things going wrong in the country?
But also, it's not all that doom, Mimi. There are things that are okay in
Tell
Cameroon.
me the things that are going well.
If you look at the GDP of Cameroon, it's on the rising scale. If you look at the rate of unemployment, it's not badly off
It's
compared
really,
to other
really
countries.
bad. Cameroonians are not employed. They had the rate of
Unless statistics
unemployment
are
of
telling
young
us-
Cameroonians is
unless the
above
sta-
70%.
Unless statistics are telling us otherwise. And
That's
we
why
know,
I'm telling you that more Cameroonians are getting more and more unemployed on a daily basis. There are no jobs.
But Mimi, we will not argue against statistics unless we carry our own independent statistics to counter that. Could be that the situation on the ground is different from what statistics is telling us.
Anyway, when the discussion gets heated, what do we do?
We normally come across to the shed of wisdom and get to know our guests beyond politics. And this is the rapid fire question segment.
Here we go.
Biya or defend your family? Which one comes first for you?
Both. My family is important. Paul Biya is important for our country.
All right. Bigger threat, is it Isa Chiroma or Maurice Hamto?
I don't know them very well.
All right. Now, dialogue with separatists or military solution?
Dialogue, of course.
In the books that you read, who is your favorite author?
Paul Biya in Pour le libéralisme communautaire.
Palm wine or beer, which is your favorite?
Raffia one. It looks like palm wine, but it's the one extracted from the raffia. In the West region, we have the raffia. Southwest, they have the palm wine. But it is too much strong for me.
Transparency or party loyalty?
Transparency is all what we are looking for.
Social media freedom or controlled messaging? Which one would you opt for?
We have to control the social media. No freedom on social media, because on social media, you can put the fire in the country.
When are you planning to resign?
I will never resign.
All right, he will never resign. But now, another issue is the Anglophone crisis that
Right.
remains a major sticking point. And this highlights deep-rooted marginalization in Cameroon. And when I talk to my Cameroonian friends, ones who come from the Anglophone region and others who come from the Francophone, I get two constructing views.
Just like when I was speaking with the minister as well. So let's hear what he has to say about it.
There's no marginalization of nobody. Nobody is marginalized in Cameroon. It's not the policy of President Paul Biya to marginalize a region and give best to others. This is a vue de l'esprit. It is not true. We have to build the équilibre régional. Équilibre régional. This is the main work that the policy of Paul Biya is trying to do. No one is marginalized.
What if President Paul Biya doesn't win the election? What happens to you?
I don't know. I don't read the future. Je ne suis pas futuriste. My profession is a lawyer. So if I'm not a minister, I will just go back to be the lawyer. And a lawyer, I can be lawyer in Cameroon, I can be lawyer in France, I can be lawyer in Germany, I can be lawyer everywhere. I will not go to exile. I will not go nowhere. I stay in Cameroon. I will fight them. I will be the strong opposition. If they went to the power, I will be the leader of the strong opposition against them. I will not go nowhere. I will stay here to fight them, because I trust that the way Paul Biya is leading Cameroon is a good way. I will follow. I will perpetuate his policy. I will inscribe myself in his policy. I will take it for myself, and I will fight them. Fight them. Fight them.
This is serious, that he would fight the opposition. He will not let it go. Anyway.
So passionate.
Yes, but to say that there's no marginalization is not correct, because these are some of the things that brought the crisis to where it is now. But let us focus on the key highlights. There are key challenges in Cameroon's election. The country is facing a lot in terms of development. The youths want their voices heard. There's also political divides and governance issues plaguing the country. So it also raises the question of whether change can triumph over continuity, like we said in the beginning, in the upcoming presidential election.
Yeah, and as promised, we had the opposition tell us what they are offering to Cameroonians, and now the president's side, and as you know, he's being propelled by a political elite. They've had also the opportunity to tell us what the president is offering. But to all our Cameroonian listeners and viewers, the decision lies with your vote. For more on the October 12th election, follow us on our YouTube channel, DW Africa.
And also on our different social media platforms, TikTok and also Facebook. But where can people watch Under the Baobab or listen to it?
Yes, Under the Baobab can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course also on our DW Africa's YouTube channel.
Please subscribe. My name is Mimi Mefoneu.
And I'm George Okachi. Many thanks for watching.